Okay, a very good afternoon to all of you who are joining us from India, a very good noon to all of you who are joining us from Europe, and a very good day to all of you who are joining us from other parts of the world. My name is Samrat Kumar. I'm the country coordinator for Euraxess here in India, and it's a great honor for us to present you the second webinar of our webinar series on hosting offers for the Marie Skłodowska-Curie Postdoctoral Fellowship. Today, we are having some very exciting presenters, countries, organization, institutions for you who are very willing to host potential candidates from India under the MSCA Postdoctoral Fellowship Call. We're having here with us today, I would start with Dr. Natalia Chitalkina from Finland. She's the Research Coordinator, Planning and Communication Service at Strategic International Planning, University of Lapland. A very good afternoon to you, Natalia. Thank you for joining. With us, we
Thank you
have
for
also,
inviting me.
thank you. And we have Miss Laura Willems. She's Communication Officer and Advisor at the European Liaison Office of the German Research Organization known as COVI. Laura, it's a big pleasure to have you back with us. Welcome.
Thank you.
And we have Ms. Sara Venerus. She's Project Manager, International Research Office at the Ca' Foscari University of Venice in Italy. Sara, also big pleasure to have you back. Welcome.
Thank you for inviting me. My pleasure.
And last but not least, we have our representative from Poland, Mr. Marcin Pasternak and Mr. Łukasz Pieczątka. Marcin is the Vice Chairman of Society for Academic Assistance at the Jagiellonian University in Poland. Marcin, also very happy to have you back with us.
Hello, I'm happy to. I'm delighted to see you all.
Yes. Thank you so much. We have, as you see, we have a very interesting lineup today. And but before we go really into the session, I'm very happy to have Mr. Pierrick Fillon-Achida. He's the first counselor and the head of the Research Innovation section at the EU delegation to India and a driving force behind the EU-India collaboration in research innovation. And the MSCA plays also an important role in that collaboration. Pierrick, thank you for joining, and please, give the welcoming remarks for this webinar.
Thank you very much, Samrat, and also to the colleagues in Europe, especially from today. We have 4 countries, as you mentioned. So Finland, Germany, Italy, and Poland. Last week, we had a similar event with a different setting of EU countries welcoming, interested to welcome Indian postdocs. So I am myself head of the EU delegation in Delhi. I'm sitting in Delhi with a team. You will have from my team later on Dr. Vivek Dam. He will give you some examples and some advice on how to do your postdoc in Europe. But today I would like to just give you a few remarks. So number one is when you engage in a postdoc, it's a long commitment. And therefore, it's quite interesting that you see in your own domain the specificity of Europe. You might start, let's say, in Italy, but you might have for the duration of your postdoc really contacts with several other countries. So Europe is relatively united in terms of exchange of scientists, exchange of ideas. So we are a little bit like India in Europe. You have many states in India, but despite the fact that we are different countries, the integration is very high on science. So you probably will end up having contacts throughout other European countries, not only where you will be landing. My second message is on how you prepare the file, your application. So as I said, in my team, Dr. Vivek Dam will give you some advice. It's quite competitive, but India is ranking very high in domain of postdoc and PhD exchange programs, being with the European Marie Skłodowska-Curie Action Program or with the bilateral program. So we are really welcoming Indian scientists. Actually, I believe that several of you might have even lived in Europe before or in US. for a bachelor, for a master, and now you want to engage in a postdoc. So we welcome you. The third point is on visa. Visa is an issue that Samrat and other colleagues, probably also from the member states, will mention. It should not be underestimated. It's an administrative issue, but you have a certain deadlines to respect when you apply for visa, and a certain time lag of administrations, because the visa are not given by my office, by the EU delegation. They are given by the various embassies in Delhi or in the consulates in Mumbai, Bangalore, Kolkata, and so on. So you need to apply on time, and you need to give them exact information, where you go, where you come from, what is your financing arrangement, your financial support. It's very important so that you don't fail in the trap of having a good host in Europe and being postponed. And my last point is, of course, respect the deadline. I believe, and Samrat will give you more details, that the deadline is sometime in September. So absolutely respect the deadline. There is no way to apply after the deadline. So those were the 4 points. The interest of Europe to welcome you, and you see a variety of EU colleagues on the table. This morning, just to give you an example, I had a meeting of the 27 embassies. So we meet regularly in Delhi on discussing science among the EU embassies. So this morning, I had all the colleagues from Finland, Germany, Italy, Poland. We were discussing about the exchange programs. So it's very important to have Indian scientists going to Europe and maybe coming back to India, because you might come back in India, you might, after postdoc, be of interest to work for a European company. In India, we have several companies doing technology, BASF from Germany, Philips from Netherlands, Mercedes from, and so on. And all those people, all those companies are in need of postdocs, PhD, bachelors, masters, Indian, who have lived in Europe and integrate later on their companies. So look at this opportunity to go to Europe and hopefully to work on science later in Europe or back in India for European organizations, European universities, European labs in India. So it's just a first step for you to do a postdoc. And you will be the ambassadors of India in Europe. So you have to carry the flag of India, and that you have to explain to your European colleagues in your laboratories that the Europeans should also come to study and work in India. India and EU are very important partners, but it has to be both ways. I hope that European scientists come to India. So Samrat, those were a few words to give the flavor and the relevance of this exchange program. Thank you very much to all the European colleagues who will speak now. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Pierrick, for your very encouraging and important words, also especially the two-way mobility, how important it is for the EU and India collaboration to not only have a one-way traffic to Europe, but also that we get more Europeans to come to India, and it becomes a much more fruitful collaboration, and and increases already the existing excellent collaboration between between India and the European Union. Now, Pierrick already mentioned there are certain things which are very important for this call. There are deadlines, there are the eligibility. It's, of course, about career development, this fellowship. It's a first step, there are much more opportunities which the EU has to offer for individual researchers under Horizon Europe. But I think now it's very important, we already did this exercise with you about, what this call is all about. But I think it's always good to have Dr. Vivek Dham with us, who can, give us again, in a nutshell, the key messages, the objectives of this fellowship, the eligibility, what is necessary for the implementation of this fellowship, and who can do it better than Dr. Vivek. Thank you so much, Vivek, for taking the time, and please walk us through this 2024 call. Thank you.
Thank you, Samrat. I'll just upload my presentation. Could you please confirm it is full screen, Samrat? You're mute.
Perfect. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Good afternoon and good morning to the European colleagues. I'm Vivek Dham from the EU delegation, New Delhi. I'm representing the Research and Innovation Service as an advisor. So I will quickly go through the different opportunities, the modalities, and how do you prepare an proposal for postdoctoral fellowship. I think last on 15th of May, I already given a presentation, so I will not go much in details. But what I will do, I will just quickly go through the important points which could be of interest again. But we will prefer this time to give more time for a question and your questions to answer. So to start with the positive note, what already Pierre had made clear that the Indians are doing fantastically well in MSCA postdoctoral fellowship. India ranks among the first among the non-European countries. From 2014 till 2023, we have more than 2,500 fellowships awarded to the Indian nationals. Out of that, 42 were women. And we have 1,800 approximately PhDs and 700 postdoc in last 10 years. And to be precise, the last 2 years, that is 22-23, the 232 Indian postdoc managed to crack the postdoctoral fellowship of MSCA, which is the range of success between 14 to 18%. So this also underlines the excellence the Indian researchers, the young researchers are bringing to the program. And that is what we want to have a both way mobility from India to Europe as well as Europe to India. So this is a positive news. And on your right side, you will see where the Indian researchers has been hosted in last 3-4 years. Spain, Netherlands, Germany, France, Italy, Sweden. These are the destinations, but it keep on changing is depend how many people had received the host offers and who managed to crack the fellowship. So as I mentioned, this is an annual call. That means every year the Marie Curie program under the Horizon launches this call for proposals for the postdoc. So if you are not 101% prepared, you can take wait and apply for 25-26. So it will be annual. And this year's call will close on 11th of September 2024. So you have almost 3 to 6 months time to prepare a proposal. So this is the timeline of the call. So call ending on 11th September, February next year could be the notification of results. If you are selected, you will be asked for a grant signing with the host institute in Europe, and then you will be given a contract. So April 25, the project can start, but it can have some kind of a flexibility is offered up to 1 year by the commission. It is up to the host institution and the candidate and the project officer to deal with that. This particular year, the Commission is investing around 417 million euros for this call, and we anticipate around 1,400 fellowship to be awarded under this budget. So there are two types of schemes within the postdoc. One is European postdoctoral fellowship and the global postdoctoral fellowship. But we will only focus today on a European postdoctoral fellowship, which is meant for Indians to go to Europe. So the European member states, and there are associated countries with Horizon Europe, are your potential host institutions where you can do a postdoc for 1 to 2 years. Under this particular scheme, there is another option called as ERA fellowship, which is given if you are hosting institute is in widening country. I will explain that in a later phase. So what this is all about in nutshell, it is an individual personal postdoctoral fellowship program. No age limit, duration is 1 to 2 years. Any academic institutions or private industry can be your host. It has a comprehensive career development scheme open to all nationalities, all domains. I will come to that again. We call that it as a bottom-up approach. So there are 8 scientific panels for Marie Curie Fellowship Program. So basically, it is up to the candidate to decide which panel the institute your proposal is most fitted. I will just reiterate that this scholarship program is also open for social science and economics, because in India we are not considering the social science and economic as a part of SNT STEAM field. So if those people from this particular field are eligible and can apply for this particular program. So these are all fields. So normally we call as 3 I's: international, interdisciplinary, and intersectoral approach. This is the key of the element of this particular program. We are not just asking the people to be researchers, but we want the researchers to be entrepreneurs. So this specific fellowship program is meant for a new generation of researchers, and that is why it is more prestigious in terms of fellowship for across the globe. So high competition is previewed. So this is something which we keep on receiving the queries. What is the eligibility? Basically, those who are going to apply for this particular years of postdoctoral fellowship from India must have a PhD degree in hand at the time of submission of your application, or at least defended your postdoctoral thesis viva. That if you defend a viva successfully, then normally the university also provide the provisional degree certificate. So underline is that you should have completed your PhD and the degree should be in hand. So this is what the window of eligibility. The if PhD after 23/9/26 are automatically eligible for to be eligibility criteria. So as I mentioned, there is also an experience is count. So the commission had put a cap that the maximum research career should not exceed more than 8 years. So what does it mean? That your PhD, if you finish around 23rd of September 2016, those people who are automatically qualify for this 8 years. If you find it this much complicated or confusing, I request all of you to use the link which I had already given into my presentation. It will be shared with you, that the self-assessment tool. So underline is we are looking for a postdoctoral fellow which are not exceeding 8 years of experience. Okay, so that is the underlying message. And the third important eligibility rule is mobility rule, that the candidate should not have stayed or reside in a host country more than 12 months in last 36 months. So that is the underline, and that is the mobility rule. To be in a simple word, if you have done your PhD in France in last 3 years, you have to change your host country for a postdoc. You can go to some other country. So if you are been to Europe for more than a year, from 23rd September 2021 to 2024, so this is the eligibility window. Those people are considered as a mobility rule, should be within that framework. So please go through these 3 criterias very carefully, because these are the basic requirement to accept your proposal. So please pay attention to that. And then there is one more criteria, that is the resubmission. If you had already applied for 2023 application, and if your score is less than 70%, don't try it. You have to take a break. If your application is scoring more than 70%, you can resubmit the application. There are plenty of information available on the Marie Curie website. So what this is all about is between the postdoc candidate and the host institution. So who are the host institutions? The group of what Pierre had already mentioned, that the program is of 27 European member states, and there are 17 associated countries with it. Okay, so I had already specified which are the 27 member states of European Union, and along with that program, 17 countries had joined the Horizon Europe program specifically. So those are also eligible. So you have a choice of finding an host institution from 44 countries. So the UK had joined as an associated country for Horizon Europe, and the applicants from the UK are eligible to receive the funding. So you can also find the UK as a additional postdoc host institutions there. So I think this is ample clear. So this is what the funding is all about. The Marie Curie postdoctoral fellowship provides a generous funding. On an average, we give 5,080 euros as an allowance. In addition, there are different allowances: mobility allowance, family allowance. Plus, the host institution also receive the training and network contributions. Then there are also management costs. So on an average, the commission is paying per month, and postdoc is something 7 to 8,000 euros. The country coefficient, that is, some countries are expensive, some countries living cost is low, so the country coefficient is calculated as per the cost living in the specific country. But on an average is very generous funding provided by the commission. Must here is something, host organization. Who could be your host organization? It could be university, research institute, public or private industry, or SME, NGOs, hospitals, you name it. Those who had capacity to include and conduct a research which you had proposed should be part of, can host you. They should be a legal entity recognized within that particular specific country by either our member state or associated countries. So who could be your supervisor? Basically, the supervisor must be designated by the host organization. He could be professor, associate, assistant professor, is depend on that, but he should be designated supervisor by the host institution. The commission had given a specific guidelines, a book for the supervisors, but my basic message or the underlying message, that the supervisor should spare sufficient time with you to develop a joint proposal. So you please consider those people who had able to spare some time with you and prepare a proposal. Those are more potential and successful host for you, supervisor host for you. So how to find the host institutions? I had already mentioned last time, your professional network, because your lab is already having a bilateral collaborations with the Europeans. You can approach them. You must have met some people in conferences, some workshops. You can also write to those people. You are also following certain labs across the globe in your domain. You can also reach out to those people who are in a similar field which complements your work to each other. Those can be approached. Then we are organizing and hosting offers like Euraxess. We are organizing quite regularly. Then also hosting offers are posted across the internet. I see, just like a few minutes back, I just quickly check, around 400 hosting offers are already uploaded on Euraxess website, so you can go through that. The Marie Curie network is also a very efficient platform to find that. And I will also urge the people that below the call, which is, I already had given the link there. Below the call, there is also partner search option, where already the people who are interested to host the candidate had given their expression of interest. You can also check those hosting offers. So what is next? I will not go too much in detail, because I already mentioned last time, you need to be very precise and very calculated when you are approaching to someone, because there are thousands of emails the host supervisors receive. So don't randomly shoot the mail. Make a proper study of a specific lab, a supervisor, and you have to present your project idea very efficiently and effectively, so that he or she can consider your application for a possible host. So evaluation is done on 3 criteria: excellence, impact, and implementation. The excellence is given a highest percentage, that is 50%, 30% impact, and 20% implementation. This I will not go into the details, but I urge all the potential applicant that before you prepare a proposal, please go through the details. What are the award criteria? Because accordingly you have to prepare those proposals. A lot of people don't provide much importance for impact, because this is something which the evaluators also looking, what kind of impact on your career, what kind of impact you will receive during your research proposal, what kind of innovation and the breakthrough you are trying to get through. So these are all important criteria and guidelines has been already given on the website. So please go through that. So drafting an application is one of the most important tasks you will have in coming months if you are preparing it. But as I mentioned, it has to be with the your potential host supervisor should engaged and should be proposal should be developed along with the supervisor. Then only it is makes sense to go forward. You can also check this particular research proposals from your seniors, different lab mates who can also contribute to the idea. Please read the award criteria. So what I strongly recommend that MSCA postdoctoral fellowship handbook is very important document. You should read it. Again, I'm giving all the links to those people so that you can go through proper documents which are available on the European Commission's website. And also, I think almost all kinds of questions are being answered under the FAQ on the funding and tender portal. So before you shoot a mail to us, maybe it is wise that you can go to FAQ section. Again, I will not go. These are two parts of the application forms. One is part A and part B. Part B is more like a scientific template where the maximum page limit is given 10 pages. So you have to be specific and very precise when you are writing your scientific proposal. As I mentioned, the European Fellowship has an additional second chance if you are being, your host institute is located in the widening country. I will come to that list, which are the widening country. You just have to click one additional, click into the application if you want to be considered under the ERA Fellowship. This is not about the subsidy or the quota or kind of a relaxation. It is just if your institution belongs to a specific group of country, but due to the lack of funds, if you are above the threshold limit and unable to get because of the fund limitation, the funds are taken from the ERA fellowship program. So these are the 15 countries. If your host institution is located in this particular country and you want to apply for a second chance, because there is no resubmission as such, it is an automatic consideration, but underline is your institution should belong to these 15 countries. This is where the application, where you will have an option of clicking yes or no. If you click yes, that means your application will be considered for the ERA fellowship automatically. So again, these are some hints. That is, start early, make the proposal more ambitious, innovative, make sure it should be feasible. Don't go overboard with the excitement. It has to be practically feasible within 1 or 2 years. Proposal needs to be corrected, proofed by different experts. So please use the NCP services, your experts in your field. As I mentioned, it has to be very brief and concise proposal. So use graphs, charts. Then please go through a different eligibility criteria. So believe in yourself. If you are 101% sure, then only apply, because the cutoff, if you go below 70, then that means you will not able to apply next year. So make sure your proposal is 101% confident that you will pass the at least the threshold limit. So be considerate all these points when you are preparing. On top of that, if you have any questions, please write to me or Samrat. We will be more than happy to answer. I will stop it here. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Vivek. I think it was again a very coherent and concise presentation, especially focusing on the eligibility, but also how to approach this fellowship, especially having a supervisor and working very closely with him, her can increase the chances of getting this fellowship. And you already mentioned it, Vivek. Indian researchers doing extremely good under this fellowship. And that's why we also have these webinars, because we see that there is a strong interest in Europe, for Indian candidates. And but it's not exclusive for Indian candidates. We also have attendees from different countries. So we're very happy to provide this service to you here. Vivek, I was just wondering, should we regarding eligibility, should we take some questions now or at the end with you? You're muted,
This
Vivek.
all depend. Yeah, I think we will take it at the end, because let the
Exactly.
our national expert also come to that, and if there is an questions which are more eligibility related or something modalities, we can pitch in. But I think all of them are quite experienced and have a thorough understanding of the program. So we will
Okay.
take all questions at the end.
Yeah.
There is no
Yeah.
question, no
Okay.
issue now.
So, dear attendees, keep your questions, write them in the chat, in the Q&A. We will collect them, and then we will have a Q&A session at the end of the webinar. And Vivek already made the bridge now to our second session of this webinar, which is about the concrete hosting offers, the opportunities which are there in European countries. And we start with, we go to the north of Europe, and we start with Finland. And here again, would like to welcome Dr. Natalia Chitalkina from the University of Lapland. Natalia, the floor is yours. Please share your screen, and we are much looking forward to your presentation.
Thank you, Samrat. Let me share my screen. Can you see my presentation now?
Yeah, if you put it in full screen mode.
Yes, it's in full screen mode now. Can you see it?
We can see it, but not in full screen. So maybe it will take a few seconds to get there.
All right. Let's see. Can you see it now?
We can see the presentation. Can you move the slides just to make sure?
Is it okay?
No, it's not. But no worries. Let me run them from here if that's okay for you.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. We'll just Okay. I will just open this. Just 1 second.
Yeah, no problem. So my name is Natalia Chitalkina, and I work as a coordinator in international planning at the University of Lapland. And today I'm gonna give you a short overview of research at our university. And I will also tell you how you can apply for postdoctoral positions here at the University of Lapland. And I'm gonna tell you a bit about our strategic focus, which is also related to current research focuses of our university.
So
So
Natalia,
thank you. I can see my first slide. Yes.
Natalia,
So
okay.
can you?
Yeah, just let me know when I should move them. Yeah.
Yeah, please move forward. So the University of Lapland is the northernmost university in the European Union. It's located exactly on the Arctic Circle in Rovaniemi, and Rovaniemi is the capital of Lapland. Lapland is a region in the northern part of Finland. Our university has 4 faculties: Faculty of Art and Design, Faculty of Education, Faculty of Law, and Faculty of Social Sciences, as well as the Arctic Center. And our research focus is mostly on Arctic issues and well-being of northern communities. The next slide, please. So our university is relatively young and relatively small. So as you can see here, it was founded in 1979, and it has around 4,600 students and 730 staff members. Next one, please. Oh, somebody has just written that slides are not visible. Can you see our presentation, or should we share it one more time?
They're visible to me. I don't know, are the other presenters?
Yeah, I can see them too in the right
I
one.
can see them.
Okay, so
They're visible.
yeah, great. Thank you for confirmation. Yeah, thanks. So as I said, our university focuses a lot on Arctic issues, and we have three main strategic choices: global Arctic responsibility, sustainable tourism, and future services and reachability. So first of all, we aim to promote sustainable development in the Arctic region. We also aim to analyze impacts of tourism on the region and promote sustainable approach to tourism in the region. And we want to contribute to the development of future services to make things like education and participation in community work available for all community members. And we have 4 strategy enablers that should help us achieve these goals. So we actively participate in international and national networks. We promote well-being and a strong sense of community among our students and staff members. Of course, we develop education and we promote structural development at our university. The next one, please. I'm gonna briefly present you research at all of our faculties and at the Arctic Central. So this is the research at the Faculty of Education, and it has 2 main research focuses. The first one is on learning and teaching as advocates of socially sustainable development. And the second is education, work, and equality in Arctic communities. Research at the Faculty of Education focuses on many different topics in the fields of media pedagogy and media education, Sami, language teaching, Sami are indigenous people of Lapland. And on inclusive education, the faculty also has a focus on teacher education and feminist pedagogy. The faculty promotes well-being of children and youth and focuses on well-being and participation in the media society, states, opportunities, and limitation of agency in working life and training. The next one, please. The research at the Faculty of Law focuses on many different topics, and it's pretty interdisciplinary. And the faculty has 3 research groups. And this faculty is only one of 4 faculties in Finland that prepares lawyers for our country. The first research group focuses on how law reacts to technological developments, on how law can support technological developments, which are taking environment into account, and on those technological developments that are inclusive for minorities. It deals with many different technologies such as 3D printing, robotics and artificial intelligence, big data, Internet of Things, and virtual reality. The second research group is welfare law, and the research in this group focuses mainly on critical analysis of legal and social systems. The group has interdisciplinary research that combines law, social work, and political science. The third research group is law, markets, and the environment. And these groups have has research on environmental law, human rights, property rights. The group works in close collaboration with the Arctic Center and with the Faculty of Social Sciences on topics related to Arctic governance, environmental policy, the impact of global and local economic development on the environment, and indigenous cultures and economic activities. The next one, please. Research at the Faculty of Social Sciences is conducted in 3 research communities: sustainable nature cultures and multi-species future, global northern communities and societies, well-being, work, and citizenship. So the first multidisciplinary community is focused on many different topics related to interaction between northern areas, people, and the environment. The research in the second group, global northern communities and societies, focuses much on Arctic indigenous people. And this research is related to many different fields, such as political science, cultural studies, and cultural history. The next one, please. As you can see, so I included many links to these research groups. So after my presentation, you can click on these links and find out more about all these research groups. The first faculty is the Faculty of Art and Design, and it has 3 different research groups. Unfortunately, the web page of the first group is in the development stage. So I'm gonna just tell you a bit about it, and I'm gonna tell you how to find out more about this group in the end of my presentation. So the first research group is user experience research, and it focuses on user experience in many different fields. So it deals with ambient displays and fashionable wearables and new factors and materials. The second group is the group on service design with communities for inclusive solutions. This group develops new tools and practical solutions for co-creating services with remote communities. And it produces new solutions for human-centered healthcare and tourism. This group encourages dialogue between communities of the Global South and Global North to address global processes. And the group conducts case studies in different parts of the Global South and the Arctic. This group has partners in many different countries in the Global South, in Namibia, Tanzania, South Africa, and also in India. The third group on Northern art, community, and environment research focuses on the development of art education, and research of this group focuses also in the broad field of visual art, including indigenous art. The next one, please. We also have Arctic Center and several research groups there. We have research group on Arctic politics and development. It's a multidisciplinary research group that conducts research on political, economic, and social and legal relations in the Arctic. Just Green Transition Group focuses on energy research, energy self-sufficiency, security of supply, and land use in the Arctic on such topics as mining and wind power. We also have research at the Arctic Centre on Arctic societies. We have a group on anthropology, Arctic governments, and also we have the Northern Institute for Environmental and Minority Law. And research at this institute mainly focuses on climate change and human rights and indigenous people and their participation in Arctic governance. And this institute also has ties with India. The director of the institute has comparative research with several Indian institutions on indigenous people of Lapland, Sami people, and tribal people in India. So you can try to contact him to apply for postdoctoral scholarships in this field. And there is also an interdisciplinary research group focused on global change. It deals with interdisciplinary topics related to biology, glaciology, ecology, and geophysics. The next one, please. If you want to find out more about our research, our professors, and if you want to apply to our university, you should visit our ULapland research portal, and there you can insert your keywords related to your research topic, your research area, and it will give you all related publications of our researchers and our recent research projects in your field. So you can study them and prepare your application and motivation letter. And after that, you can write concise and clear motivation letter and send it to me. And I will send it further to our professors for consideration. So please tailor your motivation letter, because I often hear from our professors and academics that they get many applications from international PhD and postdoctoral students, but these applications give them the sense that they were submitted to many different professors. So please don't do it. So please tailor your motivation letter and write why you would like to do your postdoc here at the University of Lapland with these specific people. And please do not include any links and attachments to your email that you will send to me. Otherwise, it can end up in my spam folder. So, so thank you very much for your attention. And if you have any questions, I will be happy to answer them now or in the end of the event. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Natalia, for this very well-structured and clear presentation, and also, giving a very good overview about the university's research landscape, the different, key areas of research, and also how to approach the university if you are interested to do a postdoc. Natalia clearly mentioned it, there's the research portal, there's the possibility to write a motivation letter to contact her. She's your focal point at the University of Lapland. So please, if you are considering, you should, start looking into the opportunities which are there. Thank you, Natalie. I hope you can stay with us towards the end and, be part of the Q&A. And from Finland, from the very north of Europe, we move up more close to the center of Europe, which is Germany. I think, most of our attendees, I'm sure, have heard about the Germany. It's an amazing research and innovation landscape, but we are very happy to have Laura Willems from COVI with us, who will now talk a bit more in depth about, what Germany has to offer for postdoctoral researchers from India. Thank you, Laura. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Samrat. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, can you see it? Can you see the presentation?
Yeah, full
Okay,
screen.
perfect.
Perfect.
So yes, I'm Laura Willems from COVI, and I'm going to present you European funding opportunities in Germany with a focus on the MSCA Postdoctoral Fellowships and posting offers. So what is COVI? It is the German abbreviation for EU Liaison Office of the German Research Organizations. And we offer information, advice, and training on EU research and innovation funding. We understand ourselves as a service platform for our supporting association. These are the major funding organizations in Germany. You can see their logos here. And we're financed by the DFG, the German Research Foundation, Deutsche Forschungsgemeinschaft. And we've been established in 1990. And we've got 2 offices in Bonn and Brussels, so we also have a European network. Okay, I can't move to the next slide. Can you see the next slide? I don't think so.
No, it's not moving.
Okay.
Would you like to stop and start again?
Yeah, I'll stop and start again. It doesn't move. Okay. Sorry.
Okay.
So here you can see the context we're in. So we are an interface between the scientific community in Germany and EU research and innovation funding. And that does mean that we support researchers and also EU offices at universities and research organizations who wish to participate in the EU Framework Program for Research and Innovation, and currently this is Horizon Europe. And all our services are free of charge. So here you have an overview of the scientific system in Germany. So we'll have a look at it. Dualistic structure means that there is science conducted at the initiative of the state, and also science that is publicly funded, but not at the initiative of the state. So we have, of course, academic research at universities and research organizations like Helmholtz, Fraunhofer, and Leibniz. Also research funding at national and regional level, for example, the German Research Foundation, DFG, and also other scientific organizations. And then we have, of course, the advice part on EU research funding, so our supporting association with the major funding organizations in Germany and also ourselves. And then on the other side, we have departmental research. This means topic-based research by federal and state administrations. So in this case, federal means national and state regional. And we also have federal and state ministries, above all the Federal Ministry of Education and Research, the BMBF. And here again, we have advice on funding. So the BMBF has an EU bureau. There are also the national contact points, NCPs in Germany, for the different Horizon Europe funding lines and advisory facilities of the states. And we are working together with them and exchanging information. If you're interested in coming to Germany, I recommend you to have a look at these 2 websites, which are very helpful. First of all, Research in Germany. Here you can search for PhD positions and funding opportunities in Germany. So it's like a job portal, but there are also many other general information. So I recommend you to have a look. And also Make It in Germany. It's the official website for qualified professionals. So here you can find your options for working and living in Germany, and also practical questions like a visa and so on. So as you, I think, all know, here's the structure of the Horizon Europe program, and the MSCA are in the first pillar, Excellent Science. And if you're interested in the MSCA, you ask yourself, of course, how to receive MSCA funding. So you can submit a proposal to an open postdoctoral fellowships call jointly with your host organization, or apply to postdoctoral vacancies funded by MSCA projects. And here we always recommend the Euraxess portal, which has a very big database where you can find a lot of hosting offers and also research consortia. And you can filter by country, program, profile, and research field, which is very helpful. So I recommend it to you. And also the MSCA Net Matchmaker. There you can also search for other MSCA calls if you're interested in another funding line, and also a lot of general information. We at COVI also have a matchmaker, but we will let it run out in autumn because we want to avoid duplication of services, and the database of Euraxess, for example, is bigger. So we still have some host offers, so you can have a look at our website. It is divided by research areas, but yes, we'll let it expire in autumn, and we do not accept any expressions of interest any longer. If you're interested in the PF funding line, I recommend you to have a look at the information note for PF fellows. Here you can find information about your rights as a fellow, practical things like allowances, secondments, intellectual property rights, and also the time after your fellowship. And on our MSCA website, we have all the relevant infos and documents. Also, for example, the work program or the MSCA Green Charter, guidelines on supervision, the guide for applicants. So if you're interested, you can have a look there. Yes, and if you're interested in applying, we also offer services on the MSCA specifically. So information events and seminars. We also have our website, as I've just mentioned, a newsletter and social media. And if you're thinking about preparing a proposal, of course, you can contact us with your questions. If you've already written a draft of your proposal, you can send it to us until 3 weeks before the deadline, which is in September for PF. We accept your proposals, and we proofread them and give you some concrete tips about your proposal. And also after your proposal, if you've been funded, of course, you can ask us questions about the implementation of the project. Or if you're thinking about a resubmission because you haven't been funded, of course, you can get in touch with us again. And you can also book appointments for MSCA advice online on our website, or you can call us or write us an email. And we also give advice on project management and workshops on application and grant management and on project management. And if you're thinking about writing a proposal, I highly recommend you to have a look at the MSCA-PF Guide for Applicants 2024. Okay, then if you wish to get first-hand tips and experiences from MSCA-PF testimonials, I recommend you to listen to our COVI podcast episode 4 and 13, because yes, here we have interviewed MSCA testimonials who present their projects, which are really interesting, give tips about how to apply, what's in it in general, and why it's worth to apply for MSCA-PF. And the second one is more specifically about how to find an MSCA supervisor and a host institution. And these are, again, first-hand tips from a testimonial. Okay, so yes, here you can find more infos on our website, and of course, you can follow us. And yes, this was everything from my side.
Thank you so much, Laura, for this very very nice structured presentation, especially about the useful links you have provided, but also the support COVI is offering to potential MSCA-PF candidates. Proofreading the proposal draft, giving feedback. I think this is an amazing service, which if you are considering to go to Germany to apply. I think you should definitely use, the support structure which is there. Laura, I hope you will also be able to stay with us until the end.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So now from Germany, we go a little further south to a wonderful country called Italy, and even a much more wonderful place in Italy, Venice. And we have Sara Veneros from the Ca' Foscari University of Venice, who will now tell us about the opportunities which are there under the MSCA-PF Call 2024. Sara, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me try and share the screen. Okay, can you see well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent. So here I am. I'm from Venice, from Ca' Foscari University, Sara Veneros, and I work as a research manager at the Individual Funding Unit Research Office. Where are we? We are in the northeast of Italy, and though we are settled in a delicate environment, we are a modern and international university. We are organized in 4 main campuses, 3 on the main city and 1 sciences on the mainland. So we got humanities, foreign languages, economics, and sciences. And we are divided into 8 departments. And I've listed them here with the link to our website, where you can have a proper look at each one, or the one that interests you. One thing I wanted to say about the departments and the topics that we have at Ca' Foscari University. We don't have medicine, and we don't have law, and we don't have engineering. But apart from that, we got everything else. So so this is all the faculties that you can choose from. So why choosing us? Because of the support service we offer, that we have developed over the years, and because we are experienced and committed. We are, in fact, one of the first top university in Italy for the number of Marie Curie awarded over the past decade. But very, very practical information on how to move your first steps if you want to apply with us. So the first thing is to find a supervisor. And so I've included the link to the department in my presentation. So you navigate our website, look for a supervisor either by going to each department or by keywords. So once you've identified a scientific match, then prepare a 1-page proposal and contact the potential supervisor independently. You can email them. Their email address is on the website. So explain to them that this is what you would like to do, a Marie Curie Postdoc Fellowship, and this is your proposal. And if interested, you can start. We can take it from there, basically. So, as I said, these are all the departments, and you can have a look at our website, get familiar with it, and find the perfect match. Talking about the support we can give you. So once you've got the supervisor, we can give you support before the application, during the fellowship if you are awarded, and after. When I say before the application, it's about, let me just stop on this one for a minute. It's the support the international office can give you in writing the proposal, in checking your eligibility, and to help you understand parts of the proposal that may not be clear or that need more work on. If you are awarded during the fellowship, you will be placed at the different department where your supervisor is based. And at the department, there will be other colleagues that will be available to help you with the management of your fellowship. And by saying that, they can explain about open access, about how to go on a field work, how to reimburse you for expenses you have. So there's a day-to-day management that is essential during the fellowship. And once the fellowship is completed, there will be support on what to do next, what other opportunities are available for you, either here or what else can be done. But as far as the support for applicants, so during the application phase, what we can do is we can perform an eligibility check and then send you the materials that we have developed over the years. So the annotated template, meaning the template that is you are required to fill in and submit, with all tips and suggestions of aspects to consider, and all sorts of things that we have collected over the years, thanks to positive and negative experiences. So also the aim is to avoid mistakes. We have already organized an info day, and for those of you that decide to apply with us, there will be an event with a former evaluator in a month or so that will give applicants an idea of what evaluators look for in an application. And then we give you feedback on the proposal multiple times from now until the submission day. And this is just to give you an idea, the timeline. So applications are open. Let me be frank with you. If you want to apply, you need to move very quickly. Find a supervisor, fill in the commitment form that allows us to check that you are eligible, and we can progress with the application. And you can also receive until the end of August an additional feedback from the research office and national contact point. And support will be given to you until the last minute, until September 11, when the call closes. So as it was mentioned before, these are the dates. The results are communicated in February, and then you will be able, if awarded, to start your fellowship the next year. So here we said teamwork matters, because it's very important, as it was mentioned previously, to work closely with your supervisor and to be in touch with the research area and the department. It's your project. You are responsible for this, but each of us play an important role in writing your application. The supervisor will be able to give you support as far as the scientific part is concerned. We will be able to give you support as far as the administrative part is concerned, and the department as well. We can all explain to you what the university can do in terms of training, or in terms of infrastructures, in terms of support to the applicant that you can include in your application. And if you are awarded, there will be an onboarding procedure to explain how things work at the university. There's an welcome office that will also help you with visa. That it was mentioned at the beginning, but it is a problem. It needs to be addressed on time and as soon as possible. And there will be also free Italian classes. So that will give students the opportunity to integrate and to learn the language. And throughout the fellowship, the kind of support that we offer is on research data, ethics, open science and publication, thanks to the libraries, web and communication, thanks to the communication office, and IPR and exploitation of the result. We have specific offices for this. Training is also important. It's an important part of the fellowship. And in addition to the specific training you need for your project, there's training on soft skills. And this is just an example of the training, forthcoming training that we are organizing. So each year we have a research communication week, and then next week we will invite Sean McCarthy who give to give a lesson. So if you're still unsure whether to apply or to apply this year, well, it was said that be careful and remember the 70% point below which you cannot reapply the following year. But the good thing about these applications is that it gives you a report with the strengths and the weaknesses of your proposal. So see as a way to focus on your career development. You might not be successful on first attempt, but it's an ongoing process. So this is it really. Join us if you have a look on our website, collect a list of questions and then get in touch if you've got any. And these are all the details from the four of us that work at the research office. That's it from me.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Excellent presentation. Like no words, the support structure which your university is offering. I think it's it's amazing, and it's really hand holding. It's really a joint cooperation between the candidate and the university. So thank you so much for outlining all the the walkthrough, and I'm sure you will get a lot of hopefully interesting candidates contacting you after this webinar. From beautiful city of Venice, we move now back to the center of Europe, and we are here now with our final speakers of today from Poland. And again, a warm welcome to Marcin Pasternak and Łukasz Bierczonka from the Jagiellonian University. Thank you so much for joining, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Sam. I'm glad to see you again, because it's not the first time we see each other. Let me share the screen and start the presentation. Okay. Well. It's not the first time, but it's a bit technical issues. I just started. Okay. Can you see my presentation?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, so let me start with some basic informations, not only about the postdoctoral fellowship in Jagiellonia University, but just few facts about the Jagiellonia University, Kraków, and Poland. First of all, where the Poland is, as Samrat has already said, it is in the center of Europe, and in the south of Poland, there is a beautiful city of Kraków. Kraków is a place to live and study, and is considered as a tourist jewel of Europe. It was many centuries ago a political capital of Poland, the city of Polish kings. Nowadays, it is still a cultural capital of Poland. You can find thousands of galleries, museums, theaters. There are many writers, poets, and artists. Not only they were, but they still are, because it is a city of art and culture, and also the city of sports and tourism. So you can see that there's some kind of historic air, but it does not make Kraków stuffy with this. But in the city of Kraków, there is Jagiellonia University, the oldest university in Poland. And I have an honor and pleasure to represent this university. It was founded, as you can see, 660 years ago by the King Casimir the Great. This king, you can see his portrait on a 50 zloty note. And this is the oldest university in Poland and one of the oldest in this region, in the region of Central Europe. The current name of university was adopted at the beginning of 19th century. And during all centuries of its action, the Jagiellonia University was a place where many famous people graduated. Here we have got 6 examples of notable alumni. So the quite famous and important persons who through centuries have graduated from our university. As you can see, we have got Copernicus, Pope John Paul II, Nobel Prize winner Wisława Szymborska, famous science fiction writer Stanisław Lem, Norman Davies, historian, and Ludwig Reichmann, the founder of Uni-ICEF. And not only I am assistant in Jagiellonia University, but also I am a vice chairman of Jagiellonia University Assistants Association. There was a problem with translation of the Polish name in English. And one of colleagues of our board, who specializes in English studies, suggested this name, not that you could see in our agenda. Nevertheless, this is one of peculiar organizations in Kraków and in our university. There are not such alike in Poland as far as know, because it creates a joint platform for interdisciplinary collaboration for all junior researchers and scientists. So not only the PhD, the persons with doctorates, or during the doctorate studies, during the PhD studies, but from postgraduate to assistant professor, everyone is invited to collaboration between many different departments. We in our aims there's also science popularization. There are events. In last week, for example, we have a pleasure to organize the lecture of Professor Słomiński, a famous dermatologist and pathologist who had a lecture about vitamin D. So if you choose Jagiellonia University for your fellowship, don't forget about the Assistants Association, because there is a lot of opportunities for our collaboration right there. And coming back to Krakow and to academic matters, Krakow is an academic center. And it is estimated that over 100,000 students are there, and almost 1 out of 4 of them studies at the Jagiellonia University. Except of Jagiellonia University, there are 10 state higher education institutions and 13 private higher education institutions. But Jagiellonia University, as the oldest one, the most noble one, is prominent in this field. As you can see, Jagiellonia University is a research university. It has received such status in 2019. And also it is an excellence initiative research university, and is one of the founding members of Una Europa that greatly contributes to further development of the university itself and increases its significance in the world. Among other achievements, according to perspectives, so in English prospects, Education Foundation, Jagiellonia University is the best university in Poland. And Jagiellonia University is the only Polish higher education institution in Reuters Top 100 Europe's most innovative universities ranking. It was also featured in the academic ranking of world universities 2 years ago, and so-called Shanghai ranking, and is the highest ranked Polish university, and also is a recipient of the European Research Council grants. So as you can see, it is encouraging to apply there. And taking a closer look at the numbers, we have got 16 faculties, 158 majors, over 4,000 academics, teachers and researchers, over 40,000 students, PhD and postgraduate students, 6 modern research centers, and also Jagiellonia University is a member of 11 international networks, and it is estimated that about 1,225 projects are going right now. As you can see, there are many research fields because according to the name university, it is a universal. As you can see, we have got humanities, social sciences, natural sciences and technology, and medical sciences. All these fields are the field of the work of 16 faculties of the Jagiellonia University. As you can see, we have got the listed right there, but about other details, I think that Mr. Pieczonka should tell you more. So I will end my sharing and pass the presentation to my colleague.
Yeah, thank you, Marcin, and thank you for having me here. I hope you can hear me and see the screen.
Yes, perfect.
Yeah, perfect, thank you. So I wanted just to briefly introduce you with our infrastructure at the university, which is the first and the biggest venture was the building of the campus, the new campus of the university, because as the university is old, as Marcin said, quite old, is almost located in the city center, so it wasn't not very sufficient anymore for the students and for the research and researchers. So the idea for building the campus in a bit of suburb of the city was the idea is from 70s, but the actual venture was started in 1994 when the first parcel was bought, and now from the first building at the campus was opened in 2002. It was the Faculty of Biochemistry, Biophysics, and Biotechnology. The last building for now was opened at, it was the Faculty of Chemistry, and it was opened in 2017. So the university has the very modern and complex buildings in a campus. The name of the campus was named after the 6th anniversary of the revival of the university. Most of the exact and natural science faculties are located over there, but not only. There is also the management and communication department, the faculty over there, and many laboratories and the research centers. The university, together with the university, or as the part of the university, we have the 6 research centers. I just wanted to briefly introduce you with the 4 of them. The Jagiellonian Center of Innovation by the university to develop and manage the Life Science Park, which is also the part of the campus, and support entrepreneurs and scientists in life science, in general in life science. Between 2009 and 2013, the Jagiellonian Center of Innovation was focused on renting laboratory space, managing the project grants, and funding business through their own venture fund. And since 2013, the center has expanded its service to include the contract research in its own laboratories and clinical trials at its clinical trials center. In 2018, the JCE added the cosmetics formulation and production to its offerings for the cosmetics industry and secured funding for new life science projects and technologies. So this is the example, all of the research centers are the example of the cooperation between the university, the academia, and the business industry. The second research center, very well equipped and very modern one, is the Solaris Center. It is a Polish national research center providing scientists with synchrotron radiation. Open for researchers from Poland and also from abroad. The center was established between 2010 and 2015, and it was co-financed by the European Union through the European Regional Development Fund as the part of the Innovative Economy operational program. The excellent parameters of the Solaris, synchrotron places it among the leading devices of its kind worldwide. And of course, it's available for the researchers both from the university and from outside the university. Another example of the modern research center is the Małopolska Center of Biotechnology. As an international postgraduate research institute of the Jagiellonian University, the mission of the center is to be a research center of excellence with a worldwide reputation, operating across a continuum of genes to protein to function to translation research. About 30% of the researchers at Center of Biotechnology, including PhD students, are from abroad. So there's it's an international staff, the place for the international staff. So which makes it a vibrant international community where the English is the operating language. The center hosts the 2 Max Planck groups of scientists. To support its mission, Center of Biotechnology secures a national and international funding, hosts several EMBO installation grant holders, participates actively in several European Horizon projects, and also hosting the ERC funding grant. And the last one, the center I would like to present you is the Jagiellonian Center for Experimental Therapeutics, which is a unit of the Jagiellonian University focused on developing experimental pharmacotherapy for lifestyle diseases. The JCT is founded on a collaboration among three entities: the university, our university as the project leader, the Łódź University of Technology, and the Institute of Nuclear Physics of the Polish Academy of Sciences. So these three partners together form a comprehensive research infrastructure with well-equipped laboratories. The reason I just wanted to show you the infrastructure of the university is that once you might get to found the fellowship under the Marii Skłodowska-Curie action, you of course might be a part of one of these centers, or you can get the access as the employee of the university. You can get the access to the laboratories or to the equipment of the centers. About the international cooperation in general, the university, of course, has a lot of bilateral agreements operating under both the Erasmus program, which is the most known in Europe program about the exchange of staff exchange, students exchange, and of course operating not only inside the European Union borders but also outside. Of course, we have many bilateral agreements as the university itself or the faculties, which Martin mentioned is 16 faculties, and all of them have the opportunity to have their own bilateral agreements, depend on their need. There are also a few other programs which you, as the potential future fellows, you can just of course use all the programs available for the employees of the Jagiellonian University. Which was mentioned before and in the beginning, as you will be in Europe for a long time, the international networks might be very useful for you to be a part of the more international groups of researchers in Europe and across the Europe. The university, Jagiellonian University, is a partner in the 11 international networks. One of them was mentioned already. It's Una Europa, which is the part of the general European venture of creating the European universities. But also the smaller groups like CELSA, which is a Central European Strategic Alliance, with the vital and leading role of the Leuven University in Belgium. The Coimbra Group, which contains the oldest universities in Europe, or the Guild Group, which is the mostly specific, the body to support the European Commission in decision-making regarding the research in Europe. Research Support Center, which I represent, is the center devoted to support the academics, the researchers, and the potential future grantees of the European and international grants in their daily routine regarding the implementing the European, or not only European, grants, but also to gain the national grants under the many national ventures available in Poland. So we are supporting them from the application procedure till the final reporting of the project. Of course, you can find all details. You can just, once you be ready to find your supervisor at the university, it's very likely that your application will be consulted with me or my colleagues from the office. Those are the statistics regarding the scientific projects actually run at the Jagiellonian University. We have around 1,400 projects, research projects. It's the majority of those. We have also the educational projects and the other ventures, smaller or bigger, which are also important for our academics. under the Horizon 2020, which is still needs to be reporting, and Horizon Europe, we have right now about more than 50 ongoing projects. We have also the projects under Erasmus Plus program, the Visegrad Fund, which is a local cooperation between Poland, Czech Republic, Slovakia, and Hungary. And of course, 9 ongoing grants under the ERC, European Research Council, running in the different faculties of the university. For the international researchers who just wanted to visit university or be a part of university, there is a service called the JU Welcome Center, which is a general welcoming point of contact for international mobile researchers, academics, their families, and their host institutions. The team at the Welcome Center offers the professional information, advice, and support all guests, both in preparation for and through their stay at the Jagiellonian University. So they collaborate closely with various units, which are located in many places in the city. And they coordinate the service and all paperwork necessary for the researchers to be and stay in Poland. So they provide essential information on topics relevant to guests' visits, like residence formalities, all helpful tips you might need it during your stay in Poland. Yeah, so you can apply, of course, for the fellowship, which is the idea of this meeting. Here you can find all contact information. You can just check the all details on our websites. And just please bear in mind what was said already. Just do it before you, take time to prepare a very good application, because the excellence is the European Union top 1 requirements. And then just bear in mind that we still need some time to prepare full necessary documents for you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Marcin and Lukasz, for a very, I would say, very comprehensive, very well-structured presentation, especially showing the great history of the university, but also what at the moment presently the university is doing. There are some excellent research centers, as Lukasz has presented, and also the support system you're giving for international researchers, especially under the Marie Curie. So, if you are thinking of a university with a lot of history tradition, but also with a lot of, modernity, I would definitely think that Jagiellonian University is something very interesting and a hot university to go to. Now, with this, we end our session on the hosting offers. It was a broad spectrum. We had 4 different countries, institutions, and so there's a lot to digest, of course, for you. But I see we have quite a few questions in the Q&A. So I would like to ask all the presenters to join me into the Q&A session. Vivek, if you are with us, please come in also. I would say we start with some questions which are about eligibility, and then we move, to more questions which are towards the presenters. But Vivek, there are a few questions which have come up again. One is about the mobility rule. I think, this is still maybe to emphasize the importance, because this is a very strict rule and there is no flexibility on that, right? So maybe you could just again emphasize, the rule, and also about the cutoff, Vivek. There are some questions about 70%. Can one reapply with the same institution? And if one has less than 70%, does it mean that one has to wait for one entire year, or one can go with another university supervisor? So if you could just, answer those quickly for us, or clarify those questions.
So, thanks, Samrat. I try to answer in Q&A, but I think the same question coming again and again. The basic eligibility, the candidate must have PhD in hand, the PhD degree in hand at the time of submission. Okay, there is no concession, there is no consideration you should have a PhD at the time of submission of the proposal. That is mandatory. There is
Okay, Vivek,
no more discussion.
We had one question. What if I complete my PhD in July? Can I still apply, or would we advise to, maybe look for next year, because July is the deadline is September, so there's not much time, or what do you think?
Yeah. No, is completion is another thing. Award of degree is one thing. So at the time of award, the submission of the proposal, the candidate must have degree, or at least successfully defended the viva, should have a provisional degree. Okay, so there is completion doesn't make any fulfillment of the requirement. The second is about the 8-year experience. The candidate should not exceed more than 8 years of research experience. There are certain exceptions, that maternity, paternity leave, sick leave, non scientific work. So I had already given the, if you Google out this MSCA-PF self-assessment, that is excellent tool, Excel table. You just give your different fraction, it gives you whether you are eligible or not. And the third eligibility criteria is about the mobility. It's very clear that the candidate should change the country if you have already been to that country. The whole program, the whole philosophy of this particular program is to build a global network. You should be exposed to different teams, different culture. So if you have done already a PhD or a postdoc in last 36 months, more than 12 months, you should change the country. Okay, that is the base underline, and we will share the slides again. There are eligibility criteria, hyperlinks are given in my presentation, but I think on a Marie Curie also it is very straightforward, and the people should just respect and go through it. So I try to simplify as much as possible. Regarding the cutoff, okay, so this is highly competitive scholarship. We receive around 8 to 10,000 proposals per year. Okay, so normally the cutoff range, which I see, I think our first webinar also there is a table which you can visit. The range between 91 to 93, okay, is depend on the number of application received per year. Okay, there is no quota, there is no reservation for any specific discipline or country. If you score less than 70% in the evaluation, that means you are not eligible to resubmit the proposal for next year. If you are above 70 and you are able, you want to relaunch the proposal, it is advised that you should revise the proposal. You can change the host, you can change the country. I am not 101% sure whether it is the same host you can, but I will leave it with the panelists if they have a better idea about the resubmission. But according to me, it should be above 70. The score should be above 70. Then only you are able to resubmit. But I request the panelists to give their understanding on the resubmission. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vivek. Just another question regarding, this 8 years. Of course, you said that there is the self-assessment calculator tool, which is very useful. But what about research gap? Like, what if, we had a question in the chat. What if I had like 3 years of research gap? Am I eligible? Should I apply? Could you maybe say something on that?
Yeah. So you can apply if there is a research gap, if you are not performing an active research. So you can consider, and that is why the self-assessment, the Excel table is nicely done. You will able to easily calculate what are the parameters has been given. If you are working as in the industry with non R&D field, you can consider that as a valid gap. There is also maternity leave, there is paternity leave, the sick leave. If you are teaching but not doing a research, that also can be considered. So all parameters has been given in a self-assessment. I request everyone just to, if you are more than 3 years of PhD, you can go through the self-assessment tool, and that clarifies most of your doubts quite clearly.
Okay.
And there is one more point. Even you exceed 1 day more than 8 years what has been given, it is not considered as an eligible application. So make sure you have fit the eligibility criteria quite well. There is no concession, there is no consideration for 1 day, 1 month, or few days, because we have thousands of applications. So the moment you are not fulfilling the eligibility criteria, your admissibility of the proposal is gone in first round. So please review the eligibility criteria quite carefully.
Okay, thank you so much, Vivek. And you know, there are a lot of links. There's the handbook and everything. You should really first study this very well, and most of your questions will be answered. But we have now, of course, a very nice lineup of presenter speakers from different institutions, universities. So we would also like to bring them a bit into the Q&A. There have been questions regarding language, for instance. I've seen that, is it a requirement to know the language of the host institution? Maybe, we can start with Laura. I think the question was about Germany, about, the B2 level. Laura, how is the situation in Germany for that? And then the others.
So if you're applying for MSCA postdoctoral fellowships with a German host institution, there is no requirement regarding your level of the German language, because you write your proposal in English. Of course, if you have any questions about your proposal and you get in touch with us, you can contact us in English too. So no, there's no language requirement.
Thank you. And how about the others? I guess it's the same.
Yes, it is the same. Yeah.
Yes,
No,
any administrative, any administrative issues we can just settle in English. Any documentation, it's given in both language in Poland, at our university at least.
Okay.
Samrat, can the panelists request the resubmission if they have a better answer than me?
About resubmitting to
resubmission, yeah, with the same host, and if someone has a better understanding and clarity on that.
Yeah, please, if we could elaborate on that more, like can one resubmit with the same supervisor and same institution, like if one has not succeeded in the first year, like do you encourage that? Like, have you that cases that people have resubmitted to your institution?
If it's below 70, what was the question? Because that it's not possible.
No.
We don't, yeah.
But
so if it's under 70, they cannot resubmit with the same host institution, same supervisor. No. If it's over 70, in our case, if they get seal of excellence, then it's a personal choice, but we are happy to do so.
Okay, so there's this option to resubmit if you have had more than 70% with the same institution and same supervisor in the following year. Okay. There was also a question like, can I do my MSCA postdoctoral fellowship at your institution, but being based in another country, or having another affiliation next to it, or does it require to be full-time present at the institution where I'm applying to? Did you get the question? Let's say I'm a research assistant in Germany and I'm applying for the MSCA Postdoctoral Fellowship at the Jagiellonian University. Can I still keep my affiliation in Germany, or do I have to completely move to Poland?
I think it's more the questions regarding the internal MSCA regulations and the European Commission regulations, whether it requires of being in person on the place or not. But from the university perspective, it happens sometimes, and under some circumstances, that they can get the agree of the authorities of the university to do work remotely for some period of time. but it must be still in accordance to the Horizon Europe regulations and Marie Curie Skłodowska Actions regulations.
I will add just Samrat in that. If you are already a postdoc, either it is Marie Curie or someone in some country, and due to contractual obligation, there is an window given by the commission for a little bit late start. It can be from 6 months to 8 months. It is given in the handbook as well. So that possibility is there. But once you go for a new postdoc, you need to change the institute and university, and it has to be a full-time research position at that specific university. I also see a question related that whether this will be like an advertisement of the postdoc positions or anything. No, this is an individual fellowship which has to be applied along with the candidate nominated at the time of submission of the proposal. So this will not be advertised as a postdoc position like a project. It will be, if you are selected, that means the grant is given to the institute and you are pre-identified candidate or identified candidate for that specific proposal. So this is an individual grant and it will not be advertised separately.
Okay. There were also questions regarding, health insurance, taxation, like, how would it work? Like one would get a national health insurance, right? If I come now to Italy or I come to Germany, I would be like, paying my taxes. I would get the fellowship, but I would be paying taxes then to Germany and also being insured during that time. Like,
yeah, so these things are covered by the MSCA allowances in this case. So yes.
And like how would it be with taxation? Like if I like pay taxes to Germany or Italy, then how can I benefit of that after my fellowship? Like,
Do you mean pension wise?
yeah, exactly, pension or like is there
That's
any...
a very sorry, Tim. That's a very specific question. We have a dedicated office for that. And in case fellows who wants to know more, they can refer to that. But yeah, there's support on that as well. But it varies by country, and yeah, it's a very complex area. I cannot give you a one answer fits all.
Yeah, Samrat, we had this question last webinar as well. So basically, the postdoc is in recruitment as a professional scientist because they will be signing a contract. So obviously, they will have eligibility for a taxation. So I think last time the colleague from Austria also mentioned that it is varies countries to countries, and you can say around 15 to 25% is taxable, but is again subject to the country regulations and the duration of the stay of the candidate. But even though you are paying the tax insurance, this fellowship is still very generous. Fellowship is one of the best fellowship paid by the European Commission. You will have sufficient amount to live very comfortable life. You don't have to have an additional job to do that. You will be 101% focusing on your research topic only.
There are questions regarding secondments and fieldwork, like about secondments. That's also part of the application where the candidate has to, should mention if he's planning to do secondments. Are you providing any support to that also for the candidates if they have not so much idea where to do secondments? And the second question was regarding fieldwork. Is it possible to, do the fieldwork in another country outside of the host country? Like, is that allowed, or one has to stay within that country? Secondments, like, is there any kind of like support provided by the institutions for that during the drafting the application?
In our case, is mainly something that the supervisor can help with. Can, you know, identify places or contact he has, and that might, you know, it can be a starting point. And as far as field work, the question is whether they can do field work outside the country they're hosted. Yes, field work, as far as I'm concerned, can be done anywhere, as long as it's relevant to the project and it's justified. It makes sense within the project.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do agree with Sarah that yeah, it's the question of the supervisor and the research itself and the plan for the research itself. But of course, we have also the connections through these networks I just showed you, and of course the researchers, they have own connections, so they can easily plan the whole research and the places where the best way is to do the research across the Europe, that they can plan it together under the, you know, during the proposal preparations.
So it's good, you know, to have you know, to get the input from the supervisor, you know, for the secondments. There was a question about institutional overhead for fellowship administration that is taken from the salary. Is there anything like that?
No, actually, it is paid separately. My budget allocation gives a very separate, you know, columns for institutions, so it will not be deducted from the salary. It is separate funding.
And I'm seeing there's quite a few questions still there, but you know, for those who we're not able to answer, you can send an email to us at Euraxess.net, and we will try to answer them or direct them to the right person. Vivek, I think we had this already last time. Like, how long does it take for the results to be announced, and what is the time frame given to start the position once one has been granted the fellowship?
Yeah, in my slide already mentioned the timeline, what the results are. I think it's, I will just open the timeline, which is the most expected timeline is February 2025, where the results will be announced or informed to the applicants, and the grant agreement signing for successful project will start from April 2025, within that period. So is all quite structured, and is quite, timeline is quite followed across the commission and the host institution. So it is well defined, and you will find this information as well on the website. I see quite a few questions. I am from so and so field, whether I will, which country is best, which lab will be best. I think this we are not able to guide you directly, because it's up to you and the host organization. What we are trying to give you is the direction, the guidelines, and some kind of assistance who could be the potential host. At the end of the day, it is the candidate who has to approach, who has to write to a specific host institution, identify them. So all the panelists from different universities will able to guide you. You cannot say that this is the one you should go it, because it is up to you and the host supervisor to decide.
There, like, just one more question I wanted to take, and because it has been recurring, it's about publication. Like, you know, how important is it to have already something published, or is it okay if I have no publication to apply? And the other question was regarding, you know, is there a kind of a quota, like across the different European countries? Like, you know, if I'm applying to Germany, are there like more fellowship seats reserved? Is there any reservation scheme, or is it like, you know, it really really depends on my scores and my, you know, the excellence of my project?
No, there's no reservation quota or reservation scheme. It depends on the excellence of the proposal, and it doesn't depend on the country the host institution is located in.
Perfect. And publications, like, how important is it to have published something?
Yeah, I think we had answered this question last webinar as well. The publication does, you know, give an additional, you know, weightage, but it is not you have 8 publications, 10 publications, and you have one very good publication, is all depend on what is the excellent the citation and the journal where you are publishing the paper. So obviously the host will look into this before even submitting the proposal, whether he or she is convinced about your profile. So the publications are always beneficial to show your scientific interpretation skills as well as the idea to be published. So that will carry some weight, but it is not the criteria. The excellence of proposal has a lot of merits into it, and obviously the publications add to that scoring.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Vivek. I'm looking at the time. It's 5 o'clock in India, 1:30 in Europe. So it's time in India to wrap up the day, right, Vivekji? And I think in Europe it's time for lunch. So with that, I would really like to thank all the speakers for coming in again for these excellent presentations, and and also taking the time to look into the questions. But of course, we were not able to answer all. But you can write to us. You can reach out to the speakers. You will get their presentations, the recording, their contact details. So if you are interested to go to Finland, to Poland, to Germany, to Italy, you can reach out, and we wish you all the best in preparing your application, in finding the host institution. We are not done with the MSCA Postdoctoral Fellowship webinar series. We have still something more to offer to you, which will happen probably next month, on how to write a successful proposal. So please stay tuned on that. We also will do a webinar on the Global Fellowship, which is also part of the MSCA for those who are interested to come to a country like India. So there's still a lot happening in the next weeks from Euraxess and the EU delegation. But for today, I say thank you so much to all of you for listening in, and thanks again for all the speakers. Wishing you all a good day. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.